All right, so GTPR, huh? It's got you intrigued, and I get it. It's a meme coin, yeah, but with a twist. They're saying they can actually build homes.
Yeah, pretty bold claim.
Definitely. And that's why we're here, diving deep to see if there's any substance or if it's all hype.
Right. You've got folks hooked by the meme coin label. Like, remember the Dogecoin frenzy?
Oh, for sure. Everyone was jumping on that bandwagon.
But with GTPR, they're trying to tie it to something more tangible, something real.
Yeah, because most meme coins, let's be real, it's all about the buzz, the short game.
Yeah, pump and dump, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But GTPR is linked to this whole Goat Tapper project.
Right, and that's where it gets interesting. It's not just about trading the coin itself. It's about using it within this tap-to-earn gaming platform.
Okay, tap to earn, so I'm picturing like goats tapping on houses or something.
Not quite. Think more along the lines of those mobile games where you're tapping to build, to collect resources.
Okay, I get it.
But the twist is they've connected it to real estate. That's their big slogan, the meme coin that builds homes.
Hold on, wait. Gaming and real estate, those two just don't seem to go together.
I know, right? It's like, how do you even combine those? But the answer is in how GTPR works within the GoTapper world. So imagine this. You play, you earn points, and then you use those points, along with GTPR, to actually bid on fractional ownership of actual real estate.
So I could be tapping on my phone and end up owning part of a property.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. It makes real estate, which is usually so complicated and expensive.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It makes it accessible, you know? Like imagine owning a tiny piece of some fancy apartment building in Dubai for, say, a couple $100. That's the kind of opportunity they're going for.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. But so it's just for buying these property shares, the GTPR.
No, it's even more integrated than that. You use GTPR for everything in the GoTapper world. Buying boosts in the game, customizing your little avatar, even paying the fees when you win a real estate auction.
Oh, so it's like the main currency of the game, but because it's tied to actual property, that gives it value outside the game too.
Exactly. And they're tackling another big issue with meme coins, inflation. So many of them, they have way too many coins out there, and that makes the price tank.
Yeah, makes sense.
GoTapper, they've got this thing they call controlled tokenomics and a buyback and burn mechanism to keep that from happening.
Okay, I think we need to unpack that a bit. What does controlled tokenomics even mean? How does that help GTPR?
Simply put, it means they're very careful about how many new GTPR tokens they release. Like, picture a central bank, right? They don't just print money all willy-nilly.
Right.
They control the supply so the money keeps its value.
Gotcha.
That's what GoTapper is doing with GTPR. No sudden flood of new coins to crash the price.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about this buyback and burn thing?
It's another way to fight inflation. So every so often, they use some of their revenue, buy back some GTPR from whoever's selling, and then they destroy it, burn it, gone forever.
So less GTPR out in the world, each coin becomes more valuable. It's like a built-in way to keep it from losing value.
Exactly. They're being really strategic about this stuff. And that's what makes it so interesting.
It's like they're mixing meme coin tactics, like all that viral stuff and the community hype.
Oh, yeah.
But they're combining that with strategies we see in, the more serious crypto projects.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's a risky move, though, because starting as a meme coin, that can be hard to shake off. Can they actually be taken seriously by, like, the big investors, you think?
That's the million-dollar question. They're using the humor, the viral marketing to get attention, build that initial community.
Yeah.
But to really succeed long-term, they've got to prove that GTPR, that connection to real estate, it's not just a gimmick,
Yeah, it's like walking this tightrope, appeal to the Dogecoin crowd, but also show the folks who want real assets that there's substance here.
Right. They've got to hit both.
So what do you think? Are they finding that balance so far?
It's still too early to tell, honestly. But they are making some moves that are, well, they're worth looking at. Let's dig into these go-drop auctions, see if they live up to the hype. Because that's where this whole concept comes together, right?
Totally. We got to understand how you go from tapping on your phone to actually having a piece of property.
Yeah.
This is where it gets real, and I think this is what everyone listening really wants to know.
Let's break it down. So you start by earning points in the GoTapper game. The more you play, the more points you get. But these points aren't just for show. They're your ticket to get into these auctions.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm racking up points. What's next? What are these auctions like?
Here's the key. Only GTPR holders can get in. So it's not enough to just trade the coin. You got to hold on to it.
Oh, interesting.
Because holding it gets you access to these auctions where you could win big, It's like having a VIP pass to the real estate game.
I like that. It's not just about, buying and selling to make a quick buck. It's about actually using the GTPR for something.
Right. It gives a utility.
So walk me through it. I'm in the auction, points ready. What am I bidding on?
You're bidding on fractional ownership of a real estate asset. They take a property, divide the ownership into digital shares, and those shares are represented by NFTs. You win, you get the NFT, you own a piece of that property.
Okay, NFTs. I get that. But NFTs for real estate, that's where things get wild. Can we explain that a bit more?
Yeah, for sure. So traditionally, you need tons of money to invest in real estate. That's why a lot of people can't do it.
Huge barrier to entry.
Right. But with tokenization, they divide the ownership into smaller pieces, making it way more affordable. It opens the door for, regular people.
It's like they're taking a whole skyscraper and splitting it up into thousands of little digital bricks.
That's a great way to put it.
So someone who doesn't have a ton of money can still own a tiny piece of that building.
Exactly. It's blockchain changing the game, just like we've seen it do in other industries.
Yeah. It's pretty revolutionary. But, with anything new, there are questions. How do they choose the properties? What about the legal side of things? And how do I know my investment is safe?
All great questions, and we're going to get into those in the next part of our deep dive.
We'll break down the mechanics of this whole tokenized real estate thing, looking at the good and the bad, so stay tuned.
Definitely. We'll be right back.
So tokenized real estate, pretty mind-blowing concept, right? But we left off with some big questions about how it works in the real world.
Right. It's one thing to have a cool idea.
Exactly.
But making it actually work, that's the challenge.
For sure. So let's tackle those questions. Starting with how Goat Tapper chooses which properties to tokenize. They can't just, pick any random building, right?
Oh, absolutely not. There's got to be a strategy behind it.
Yeah, what are they looking for?
Well, they seem to be going for properties that can make money.
Makes sense.
Rental properties, commercial spaces, maybe even farmland. So the idea is those who own a fraction through their NFT, they get a cut of the revenue that the property generates.
So it's not just about the property going up in value, you're actually earning something from it.
Exactly. Passive income, baby.
Nice. So income potential, that's one thing. What else are they looking at when they choose a property?
Location, 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 right.
Sure.
They're focusing on areas where things are booming, where property values are likely to go up over time.
Smart. So they're doing their research, not just picking places randomly.
Yeah, it's all about picking the right spots.
But what about the legal side of this whole thing?
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
I bet. Tokenizing real estate, it's got to be a legal minefield.
It is. It really is. It's such a new area, the laws haven't quite caught up yet.
Yeah, that's always tricky with new tech.
But Goat Tapper, they know this, and they're working with legal experts to make sure everything's above board.
Good.
And they're being super transparent about it, giving everyone all the details on the legal stuff for each property.
Transparency is key, especially with crypto, builds trust.
Definitely. But let's talk about the question everyone's thinking. How do I know my investment's safe? What's to stop someone from, making fake NFTs or something?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, that's where the magic of blockchain comes in. Remember, everything is on this decentralized ledger, can't be messed with.
Right.
Every transaction, every ownership change, it's all recorded on the blockchain. Basically impossible to tamper with.
So it's like a digital fortress protecting my investment.
You got it. And on top of that, they're using smart contracts.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
Basically, these are agreements written in code that execute automatically. So say you win an auction, boom, the ownership transfer happens. No middlemen, no room for human error, just pure, clean code.
Wow, that's really impressive.
It is. It takes out a lot of the risk you see with traditional real estate deals.
Yeah, for sure. So much more efficient. But let's think bigger picture for a second. This whole tokenized real estate thing, it's pretty revolutionary. Could it actually change the real estate industry?
I think it has the potential to. Think about it. It makes it so much easier for people to get into real estate.
Yeah.
You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can start with a small investment and own a tiny fraction of something.
It opens the door for so many more people.
Exactly. And not just individuals, big institutions too. Tokenized real estate is more liquid, more flexible than traditional property.
So it's like everyone wins.
Potentially, yeah. More diverse, more dynamic, a whole new world of possibilities.
Exciting times. But are there any challenges? Any roadblocks ahead?
Of course, there are always challenges. Regulations, for one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Different countries have different laws, and it takes time for those laws to catch up to this new tech. And then there's getting people comfortable with the idea of owning a piece of property through a digital token.
That's a big mental shift for a lot of people.
It is. But think back to when things like online banking first came out.
Right.
People were hesitant, but now it's totally normal.
True, true. So tokenized real estate, huge potential, but some hurdles to overcome. But let's bring it back to GTPR specifically. They're riding this wave, but what about the gaming side of things? How sustainable is it to have a platform based on people constantly tapping on their phones?
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah.
We've seen so many of these tap-to-earn games come and go.
They fizzle out.
People get bored, the excitement dies down, and the whole thing falls apart.
So what's Goat Tapper doing differently? How are they trying to avoid that?
Well, they've actually put a lot of effort into making the game fun.
Okay, that's important.
It's not just mindless capping. There's strategy, mini games, even social features.
So it's more like a real game, not just a way to make money.
Exactly. And they've made GTPR a key part of the experience. You need it for those auctions, and you can use it to buy stuff in the game.
So the more you play, the more you can potentially earn and invest.
Right. It's a cycle that keeps people engaged and keeps the demand for the token high.
Clever. And are they updating it, keeping things fresh?
All the time. New features, challenges, events, the whole 9 yards.
Nice. It sounds like they're really thinking about the long game here, not just a quick cash grab.
It seems that way.
But let's be real. Not every project can be a winner. What are some things that could go wrong? What should our listeners be watching out for?
Well, one concern is always regulation. Like we said, this is a new area, and governments could step in at any time and change the rules of the game.
So regulatory uncertainty is a risk?
Definitely. And then there's always the crazy world of crypto prices.
Oh, yeah, that's a roller coaster.
GTPR is part of that world. And even if the project is doing well, the price could still go up or down like crazy.
So you could be doing everything right, and the market could still throw you a curveball.
Yep. And we can't forget about competition. New crypto projects are popping up every day, so Goat Tapper needs to stay ahead of the game, keep innovating.
Yeah, they got to keep pushing.
Otherwise, someone else will come along with a better idea and steal their thunder.
The crypto world moves fast. But you know what's super important for any crypto project? Community.
Absolutely. A strong community can make or break a project, especially one like this.
For sure. How's Goat Tapper doing on that front?
They're killing it. They're super active on social media, always talking to their followers, answering questions, addressing concerns.
That's so important, being open and honest.
It builds trust. And they have cool initiatives like a referral program where users get rewarded for bringing in new people.
Oh, that's smart.
It's a win-win. The platform grows and the users get something out of it.
Makes sense. But let's play devil's advocate here. What are some scenarios where Goat Tapper, and therefore GDPR, could fail?
Well, the simplest one is, what if they just don't get enough people interested?
What if it doesn't catch on?
The gaming market is super crowded. Even with a unique idea like this, they might struggle to stand out.
Yeah, it's tough out there, so they need to make sure people actually want to play the game.
Definitely. And then there's execution. What if they have a great idea, but they just don't execute it well?
Like the game is buggy, or the auctions are confusing.
Exactly. The tech has to work flawlessly, or people will lose faith.
It's got to be smooth sailing.
Yeah.
And then there's always that wild card, the crypto market itself.
Oh yeah, sudden crash, new regulations, who knows what could happen?
So many things outside of their control.
That's the risk with crypto.
Mm.
But are there any signs, good or bad, that our listeners should be looking for to get a sense of how this project is doing? That's the perfect question to lead us into the final part of our deep dive. We'll look at the numbers, the milestones, all the clues that can tell us if GTPR is the real deal or just another flash in the pan.
So stay tuned, folks. We're about to get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so we've talked about the big ideas, the potential, the risks.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
But now, let's get down to brass tacks. What are the actual signs, the hard data, that our listeners should be looking at to judge GTPR? What tells us if this is something worth investing in?
All right, so there are a few key things to watch. Number one, user growth. Is Goat Tapper actually attracting users? And not just like downloads, but active users, people who are really using the platform.
Right, they got to be playing the game, bidding on those properties, using the GTPR.
Exactly. So you want to see those numbers going up. Daily active users, monthly active users, downloads, social media buzz, all that.
Yeah, those are good indicators. And what about the auctions themselves? Are they actually happening? Are people bidding on these tokenized properties? Because that seems like the heart of the whole thing, right?
Absolutely. Those auctions, how often they're happening, what kind of properties